Each chapter starts with a sneak preview of something that happens later in the book. It starts with a slam against the microphone. It starts with a little preview of something that comes later in the book, but you don't know when it's going to happen or whatnot. So this is how the book starts before chapter 1, and then I'll read from chapter 1. "You ungrateful little bitch," my mother screamed. "Ungrateful?" I screamed like back. "When have you ever given me anything to be grateful for? There's a bitch in this family. I'm afraid it's you who gets the prize." 16 years. I'd wanted to say that for 16 years, and now I was saying it. Consequences be damned. ... Chapter 1. And again, hopefully you'll see how fun this was to write. My life has been a soap opera since the day I was born. At the time of my arrival, my mother had been an actress, using that term loosely, on Good as Gold for almost 10 years. The writers had worked her pregnancy into the storyline, and when Mom started going into labor, the director kept the cameras rolling. Mom swears she didn't notice, but if you look at this episode, you can see that she's playing it up, hoping that each contraction will bring her closer to a daytime Emmy. Luckily, the cameras weren't allowed in the delivery room. But 2 weeks later, Mom was back at work on the 12 by 12 set that serves as every single hospital room in the fictional town of Shadow Canyon. If you watch closely, you'll see that only the flowers change. Immaculately made up, with the whole staff of Shadow Canyon General watching on in admiration, my mother gave birth to me for a second time. And I was there waiting, under the sheet between her legs, for Dr. Lance Singletary to reach in, lift me toward the camera, and utter with complete surprise, "It's a girl, Geneva, it's a girl." This was the first time I ever appeared on TV. It was also the last. They wanted to keep me. Mom and I were on the cover of Soap Opera Digest and Soap Opera Weekly. There was a crew from Entertainment Tonight taping the Good as Gold crew as they taped my second birth. Mom's fan club sent thousands of daisies, homemade cards, many of them addressed to Geneva, and home-knit pairs of socks. A network press release dubbed me the future queen of Soapland and said I was, quote, a star of tomorrow. The hype was stupendous, but clearly I didn't believe my own press. On my second day of taping, I refused to stop crying. Big, volcanic wails. The noise was unbearable, and even worse, the way I cried made my face scrunch up. If there's one thing a soap opera will never ever tolerate, it's a scrunched up, uncute face, even on a 6-day-old baby. A supermodel pair of baby twins was brought in, and I was sent home with a nanny. 4 months later, Good as Gold viewers would watch as Geneva's infant daughter, Diamond, was abducted by Geneva's escaped convict ex-lover, a former priest named Rance, who had had 16 personalities, 10 of whom were battling sex addiction. When Diamond was found 6 months later by the lone member of Shadow Canyon's police force, she had miraculously transformed into a breast-budding 12-year-old starlet, a fact that none of the citizens of Shadow Canyon, not even the clairvoyant ones, ever noticed. In the past 16 years, Diamond has been abducted 6 times, has died once, has fallen in love twice with people who were later revealed to be her relatives, has had 3 bouts of amnesia, has been in a coma twice, has eloped once, has broken off 2 engagements, has had her debutante debut ruined by an earthquake once, and once by a dead best friend, has twice fallen into the hands of a coven of witches, has been locked in the trunk of a car 6 times, has pulled a gun on someone 14 times, has had a gun pulled on her 22 times, has had near-death experiences 8 times, twice from drowning, twice in a car crash, once in a plane crash, once after being stabbed by her lover/long-lost stepbrother, once in a shower, once, I swear to God, from slipping on a patch of black ice, which was later revealed to have been put there by her diabolically scheming half-sister/stepmother. The one thing Diamond and I have in common, neither of us knows who our father is. Everyone has a theory. Personally, I'd like a name. Really, it's only compared to Diamond's life that my own life seems ordinary. By most other standards, it's still pretty messed up. In the past 16 years, my mother has been engaged 4 times, has been married 3 times, and has been sued for palimony twice. We have lived in 11 different places, 1 for each engagement marriage, 1 carriage house, 1 apartment, 1 extended stay at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, and 1 extended stay at an, quote, exhaustion clinic, unquote, chosen because it had daycare. I have attended 6 different schools, faced off against either 19 or 20 nannies, I've lost count, and have met at least 5 different men who may or may not be my father. It's been a lot to deal with, mostly on my own. Only 2 things have remained constant. The first is the way I'm treated at school. It doesn't matter which school, whether it's full of stoners or preps or aspiring actresses or nuns. They're pretty much the same once my mom's identity is revealed. I put up with it all. Hey, your mom is sleeping with the mayor of Shadow Canyon, even though he's married to her sister. Hey, how'd your mom like having sex with the guy who ended up being a ghost? Hey, isn't your mom the one who was abducted by aliens and came back with a pack of dynamite strapped to her bra and a brainwashed mission to blow up the Shadow Canyon mother-daughter fashion show? Yes, that's my mom. You got me. Please stop. You'd think it would be enough to make me loathe soap operas, but really, I can't hate them too much, since the other big constant in my life has been the good as gold set. The only babysitter or nanny I ever tolerated was Gina, my mother's makeup person. Not because she let me play dress up or taught me how to use mascara. I still don't. No, I love Gina because she would let me sit in the space beneath my mother's makeup table so I could read as much as I wanted. I would alternate between Little Women and all the gossip magazines. A lot of times I learned more about my mother from Us Weekly than I did from our Us Weekly dinners. I also loved to read my mother's scripts because each one was more melodramatic than the next. At school, I learned addition, subtraction, multiplication, and long division. After school, I learned seduction, distraction, manipulation, and long indecision. You'd think it would have made me a little slut, but ultimately, it just made me want to write about little sluts. It'll stop there. So that's your little teaser.